Hello, hello, hello. Yes, this is more than just task management. Your daily podcast where we help you build a thriving business. I'm Anna Angelova, business coach and consultant and a co-host of this awesome show. And I have Jores Minasvand, my co-host and business consultant here with me. Hey, Jores, happy Saturday.
Hey Anna, happy Saturday.
Well, if you are a regular listener of our podcast, you know what today is all about. We look back at the week, Monday to Friday, and let you know what we talked about, our biggest takeaways, and this way, first of all, you can revisit, like rinse and repeat, and get to see if there's something else that comes up for you if you already listened to the episodes. If you haven't listened to the episodes, it gives you this conversation we have today, gives you an opportunity to see what we talked about. And if it's something that is interesting for you, if it's something that you're focusing on right now as a business owner, then you can go back and listen to that episode. So, without further ado, we started the week on Monday, which was August 11, talking about your first hire. So, when it comes to your uh, business and the time when you're ready to get some help, who should you hire? What role should you focus on? And I would say, as a takeaway from my perspective from that conversation, is that sales and marketing are great areas to look into. And the reason why is because with sales and marketing, it's really easy to see the return on investment. And it's also easier, especially with sales, it's easier to find people who are willing to work for compensation that is based on commission, like based on the business they bring in. And either you don't have any kind of base salary or the base salary is not that high. So it really gives you an opportunity to bring someone who delivers for the business and you created win-win situations. So one area to look into as a takeaway when it comes to the first role would definitely be sales, especially if this is something that you are not really fond of. So this is my takeaway. Joris, what about your biggest takeaway?
I think we talked about uh, the. Oh, hmm, I'm having one of those moments. What did we talk about for the hires? What was my takeaway? Hmm.
Well, for me, one of the biggest things you mentioned that stood out was you talked about how when you get someone, like when you hire someone, like tasks that drain you. Like this was one of the things, like when you're saying
Oh,
the energy, like think about the energy it's not just about the time you get back, but also the energy.
oh yes, yes, yes. Now it comes back to me. Yes, absolutely. Tasks even that you don't want to do. Uh, put out the garbage, clean the floors of the office, a vacuum, whatever, dust. Those are the things that you don't want to do. Yes. Now it came to me. I'm a little bit slow this morning. So yeah, things that take away the waste of hours for you. For example, if you qualify your hours at $100 an hour, and then a cleaning service that service cleans your service at $20 an hour, for you to spend 5 hours, 6 hours cleaning your office, the service can do it in 3 hours better than you and cheaper, and you can spend those extra 5 hours in making $500 where you pay the company $60 to clean your office. So it's both from the dollar perspective, dollars and cents perspective, and also from willingness and draining your energy and willing to do the work perspective. Yes, I would say hire those uh, individuals or outsource those tasks that you don't want to do.
So this was the conversation from Monday. If you are curious about like the whole conversation, uh, the episode it was August 11th. And it was all about the first role you should hire for. If you missed it, go and listen to it if it's something that applies to you right now. And if you already listened to it and want to go back and revisit it, absolutely rinse and repeat. Sometimes we hear different things when we listen to something for a second time. And this brings us to Tuesday. Tuesday, we discussed a very important topic, and it was all about the non negotiable SOPs, standard operating procedures for a seven-figure business. So, if you are at six figures and you want to go to seven figures, like this episode was definitely for you. And ultimately, what we covered, like we listed, there is a lot. We listed the SOPs related to the six pillars that any business has. And like for me, the biggest thing that I want to repeat from that episode and from that conversation is that you want to start, like, it sounds overwhelming, absolutely, like when you think about running a business, but a seven-figure business, and SOPs might sound like unnecessary bureaucracy when you think about it, especially because when we think about the corporate world. But if you really want to have a business, not a 24/7 job that you've created for yourself, but a business that you can go out of the business and enjoy a month of vacation without the business falling apart, you need this. And when it sounds overwhelming, like take a deep breath. And I mentioned it when we talked about this on Tuesday. How do we eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So one system at a time, like one pillar at a time, one SOP at a time. You can do this. But you definitely need SOPs for your leadership system, marketing and sales, delivery and customer service, team performance and management, finances. And uh, Joris, one thing you mentioned, which is very important, and we've been talking a little bit about this not so sexy teams, is risk and compliance.
Absolutely. When you get to a certain limit, to a certain level of revenue, you become target for lawsuits. Your exposure grows, and this is something. Also, it's not just risk management and compliance. When you go from six digit to seven digit and then up from there, if you have the wrong procedure or if you lack a procedure, that the negative effect on your business may be so bad that you will never recover. You need to be very careful. You need to be ready for the growth. You need, like you said, even if you put 200 hours a week, when you go to that level, you cannot catch up. You don't have the standard operating procedures. You hire the people, they don't know what to do, what to follow, how to do things, and you will end up, whether reducing your revenue, reducing your EBIT, or dropping your quality, and end up hurting your company and your brand. But yeah, risk management and compliance is very important. You need to protect yourself, your employees, your client, their data, your IP. Like I said, the bigger you grow, the bigger target you become for hacking, for denial of a service attack, for all kinds of lawsuits. Even, a big part of it is you even sometimes have to protect yourself against your clients, where if you don't have proper procedures in place, you are vulnerable to being sued by your client customers. So
And all of this that we discussed on Tuesday, important, important, important. So that's why, like, it's non-negotiable SOPs for seven-figure businesses. If you missed it, if you are at a six-figure or even a seven-figure, go and listen to this episode to see what we talked about. And then Wednesday, August 13th, we had our favorite topic, AI. And whether you should use this for content creation, whether you should use those LLM for content creation, especially when you're starting your business. And I would sum up our conversation, the no corner versus the yes with caveat corner. Ultimately, um, what we agreed on when we talked about this on Wednesday was proceed with caution. When it comes to using AI for content creation, proceed with caution and use it strategically. Have your cornerstone piece of content be created by you. Yes, you can use those LLM to help you a little bit with brainstorming, ideation, and some of these things, but ultimately have a piece of content like our podcast that is completely created by you, no involvement of like, those LLMs, and then use the LLMs to repurpose and to help you in other ways. And this is for me. This is the biggest like summarizing it. I know, Joris, you said no, complete no. But I would say it's the yellow light. Proceed with caution.
I agree. I'm always, me, I'm always radical, but absolutely proceed with caution. And I remember we talked about if you start using these AI, especially in the beginning, there's a big chance that you will not bring the value and the mission and the vision in your brand. You'll become just one of the 2 billion that use it. Don't lose your individuality. Create the content the way you want. If you see that you're not completely satisfied, enhance it with AI. But don't create it with AI. You will be one of the, like, it's very simple. You'll be one of 2 billion. You will never be unique.
Hold on. So if this is interesting for you, go ahead and listen to the episode from Wednesday. And then Thursday, we talked about promoting from within versus hiring externally. What do you do? Like when there is an opportunity, what do you do? Do you go this way or do you go that way? Like what's the right way? And of course, it's like everything else. It depends. And again, for me, the thing that I want you to remember from that conversation and the thing that like really stands out is basics. Like going, we a lot of times we forget about the basics. We forget about the simple principles. So when it comes to hiring, it's really important to start with a clear role description, understanding the purpose of the role, and considering the skills and the attitude where you need for that specific position. And once you know this, you ultimately want to find the best person, not to settle for good enough, but find the best suitable person. And yes, this best suitable person might be someone from within who gets the job, but it might be someone you hire externally. And you shouldn't worry about it. Like, it's again, like when you follow the principles, when you follow those fundamental principles, uh, you make the right decision.
And absolutely, we talked about the dependency. It all depends, right? The two philosophies of fresh blood versus French set of eyes versus keeping your intellectual property, promoting someone when I'm within who knows the company. It also depends on the level that you're hiring, and the higher the level goes, the more, especially I think we talked about C-suite, it becomes more viable for you to hire from outside to get fresh perspective. People who've been around your company 5, 10 years, they may know a lot about your company, but they don't really know what's going on, what are the latest trends. So it all depends. We quote unquote depends. We talked about a lot of dependencies on what your situation is, but yeah, start from the basics, understand the role, understand what your goal is to um, hire. Is it for you to bring your company to the 21st century, 22nd century, whatever, wherever we are, or is it for you to double your sales? So and then based on that, you can make the right decision.
So if you are at a position where something has opened up and you are about to hire or like you're looking for someone, that episode from Thursday is for you. Go listen to it if you haven't yet. And if you've already listened to it again, like re-listening, rinsing and repeating might be what you want to do. And after you're done with the Thursday episode, Friday was another very, very interesting conversation where we talked about setting boundaries with your clients. And this is one thing where like we feel so afraid to say no, especially to our clients. And I mentioned it in the conversation for Friday on Friday that a lot of us have seen those signs that say the customer is always right. So very important for your well-being and for your sanity and for the well-being of your company, your family, everyone, your employees, your team, to set boundaries with your client. You don't want to be available 24/7. And uh, I would say the biggest thing from that conversation yesterday is that you set the boundaries, and then like it's not that much what you say, it's what you do. So yes, set the boundaries by clearly stating this is how we work, this is what it is like. And I did mention like SLAs, like service level agreements and things like this in the contract even. So yes, set it from the beginning, have it in writing, but then stick to it. It's so important to stick to it. And don't worry, we adapt. People adapt. We adapt to structure, and we actually love structure. And you will be surprised how much more respect you gain from your clients for doing this, and how much better your business will become.
Very well put, Anna. There's not much for me to add to that. Like set the expectations at work, in life, with everyone, with everything, and they will also respect you back.
So, this was the recap from the last week. As I said, if you missed any of these episodes, and if any of these episodes is something that you're currently facing, actually, like the topic is something that you're currently facing, go and listen to it. And just again, like very quickly, Monday, we talked about the first role every new business should hire for. Tuesday was the SOPs that are non-negotiable for seven-figure business. Wednesday was using AI for content creation, especially as a startup. Thursday was the topic of promoting from within or hiring externally. Which one do you choose? How do you proceed? And then yesterday, Friday, was all about setting boundaries with your client so they can respect your time. If you missed any, go and listen to them. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow when we're kicking off another brand new week to help you build a thriving business and live the life of your dreams. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye, Anna.
Bye, Jerez.